For those of you who are interested, the centerpiece of the workshop is this Hercus 9-inch lathe, which I've had lent to me by a friend. It's a copy of a South Bend 9-inch. It has an overhead transmission arrangement. Also, it's been repowered with a 1.5 horsepower motor because the original motor gave up the ghost in a cloud of white smoke. It's a very manual experience. The power feed is only possible using the threading nut. There is no power crossfeed, of course. While it does have back gears, I don't use them a lot because they do tend to grumble and clack. One problem is that the belt does slip. I suppose this is a safety aspect as well. The belt improved when I used belt dressing on it. Although I've got a full set of change gears, at this stage I've had no reason to change them because all I'm doing is facing and turning, and I'm not doing any threading. The original Bernard 4-jaw chuck had cracks on all 4 edges of all 4 of its operating screws. I understand this is a bit of a problem with the Bernards as they get older, and the inevitable happened. A piece broke out the side, which meant that I couldn't operate one of the 4 jaws. Replacement was necessary. So it was replaced with a classic Chinese import 4-jaw. This is a very sturdy piece of cast steel, and it does the job for everything I need in the workshop. Underneath you see the original Thompson-Houston motor. This was new when Winston Churchill was in office for the 2nd time. Here are a selection of tool holders and the original lantern and tool post. Needless to say, this has gone all Chinese as well, with a quick change tool post taking pride of place on the compound. And for those people who like action, here's the loyal old Hercus taking down a brake disc 5 thou at a time. Slowing down, but it made it. Okay, that's enough show and tell. I've now got to clean up all of this horrible powdery mess that's left from machining cast iron discs. What fun. It has a very little brother in the workshop. This is an Emco Unimat model maker's lathe. It was given to me by a friend in a poor condition. It had been underneath a water leak. I cleaned it up, replaced the motor with a DC treadmill motor, and this must be the only lathe that's ever controlled by a remote control. It's very small scale and spits the dummy if it's ever asked to cut steel. To give you an idea of the scale, that's the 4-jaw chuck. The Unimat came with a lot of fittings which were useful for model makers, perhaps barking mad for anybody else. This, for example, is a table saw, a bench saw, which fits over the top of the lathe with the lathe driving the saw blade through that slot. However, it's very good at turning small aluminium pieces and small plastic pieces, and I've used it to make Alcatel bearings, and it did the job admirably.